Welcome to part 8 of my story and why I stopped making content for over a year. So, where we last left off, I was at the hospital. They were just taking my vitals, my respirations, my heart rate, my pulse ox. Everything was all crazy. My breathing was really bad. It was really hard to breathe. They immediately took me back to a room to put me on some oxygen. A regular room oxygen only goes up to 15 liters. So they were trying to see if they could get my respirations under control and they could bring my pulse ox back up just by putting me on room oxygen. Like I said, it only goes up to 15 liters. So I was on the highest that they had in the room. And it wasn't working. They tried it for about a half hour. I was still struggling. Nothing was changing. I actually was getting worse. So they called to the respiratory team, and the respiratory team actually brought up a different kind of oxygen machine that goes up a lot higher. It's a much higher flow oxygen. And I actually was put on 25 liters of oxygen, which is a lot, and that seemed to be helpful. So once I could finally breathe, I was able to talk. Things were working. My respirations started, going down. They weren't so high. My pulse ox was coming up. My heart rate was going down. Everything seemed to be, equaling out, which was good, but it was also bad because I was on 25 liters of oxygen. So they needed to figure out why I needed that much oxygen, why I was not getting oxygen myself. There was a couple of things they thought could be wrong with me. Obviously, they wanted to do some tests. They first took some blood work to see, because obviously, I had a CT done that showed I had pneumonia. They were worried that I could possibly had thrown a blood clot in my lung, and so they wanted to do a CAT scan of my chest. So that was another test that they were going to do, but they needed to make sure that I could breathe. So, during this time, I'm on the 25 liters. They did take a bunch of blood from me. We did set up another CT. They brought it in the room for me, so I didn't have to go anywhere. So they took, or not a CT, I'm sorry, an X-ray of my chest. They brought that in, and they took that. But they did want to do a CAT scan of my chest too, but they needed to make sure that I was stable enough to be able to move, to go, to get. And this whole time, my lungs are hurting so bad. It hurts to breathe. Even on this 25 liters of oxygen, it hurts so bad. I feel like my lungs are going to blow up with every breath that I take. I have no idea what's going on. Everything is just hurting. I'm getting scared, especially when they said, like I could have a blood clot. Like that's super scary because with blood clots, it's scary. So they wanted me to calm down because obviously I'm anxious. So they suggested giving me some morphine just because that will also help with respirations as well. I've never had morphine before, so I was a little hesitant. But, the doctor assured me, it is going to help. It's going to make you feel funny, but it's going to help. And we do need to take you for the CAT scan. We want to make sure you don't have a blood clot, so this will help you relax. This will help you breathe. So I said, okay. So obviously the morphine goes in through my IV. It kicks in right away. I absolutely do feel funny, but it does help me relax. They do take me for a CAT scan. The people were very, very helpful. They, knew what I was getting done, and it was quick. In and out. I did have to try and hold my breath as much as I could. It was very hard, but I did what I could, and the guy that was doing the test, he actually said, I can't tell you all the results, but it does look you know, like you do have pneumonia. It doesn't look like you have any blood clots. So that's a really good sign. But he said the pneumonia that I see looks really bad, and that's something I've never seen in someone your age, as young as you are. So, you know, obviously the doctors, they'll read it and, you know, they'll go from there, but he wished me the best of luck. So I get back to the room, and still I'm in ER. They have not admitted me as of yet. They moved me actually to a different room. And because my respirations were coming down, my vitals were starting to look good, they actually take me off that high oxygen and put me back on room oxygen. So this is where I'm going to stop here. I will continue to the next part very soon. Thank you for listening to my story and watching my video. I appreciate all of your support.